Have you ever stopped to think that maybe no one is really crazy or weak for struggling with mental disorders? The truth is, society has taught us to hide signs of anxiety, depression, and other challenges as if they were something to be ashamed of. But what if I told you that understanding the human mind could actually transform your life in ways you never imagined? Imagine spotting patterns, anticipating crises, and, more than that, helping yourself and others find balance. Today, you'll discover not just what these disorders are, but how they show up in daily life, opening doors to real solutions most people overlook. Get ready to see mental health in a new, human, and surprisingly enlightening way. Chapter 1: Anxiety Disorders. Anxiety disorders aren't just being nervous or stressed. They're like having an alarm system that never shuts off. Imagine worrying about everything all the time. From work deadlines to social interactions and feeling your body on edge even when nothing is actually wrong. That constant tension can affect sleep, relationships, and focus, making everyday life feel like a battle. It's exhausting, and yet so many people go years without proper help, thinking it's just part of life. Anxiety comes in many forms. Generalized anxiety, panic disorder, social anxiety, and even OCD, which is considered an anxiety disorder too. The common thread: a near constant worry that hijacks your mind and prevents you from enjoying the moment. It's like having a radio stuck on static, interrupting your life non-stop. The good news is that treatments work: therapy, lifestyle adjustments, and, in some cases, medication can help calm the storm and restore control. Small steps, like structured routines, journaling anxious thoughts, or practicing mindfulness, can make a huge difference. And as we start to explore how these patterns of the mind evolve, we move toward understanding even deeper personality dynamics. Chapter 2: Personality Disorders. When people hear personality disorder, they often think of someone being difficult or unusual, but it's so much more than that. These are deep patterns in thinking, feeling, and behaving that make everyday interactions a challenge. It's like living with a distorted mirror. How you see yourself and others is fragmented, and no matter how hard you try, clarity feels out of reach. Imagine constantly overreacting to small situations, misreading social cues, or feeling intense distress over relationships or decisions. It's not just being hard to deal with. It's living with a mind that interprets the world in ways that cause persistent discomfort. Everyday life can feel like walking through a maze with invisible walls. While personality disorders can't be cured, treatment can help people manage and live more fully. Therapy, sometimes combined with medications for co-occurring issues, acts like a guide, showing ways to navigate social interactions and regulate emotions. Understanding these patterns is a step that leads directly to recognizing how focus and attention issues affect so many lives. Chapter 3: ADHD, Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. ADHD isn't just kids bouncing off the walls. It's a brain constantly juggling too many tasks at once. Imagine your mind like a web browser with 20 tabs open, all flashing notifications. Staying focused on one thing becomes nearly impossible, and simple tasks turn into mental obstacle courses. It's not laziness. It's a constant struggle to maintain attention where it matters. Adults with ADHD might start a project, get distracted by a message, go make coffee, and forget entirely why they got up. For students, reading a page in a book might feel like trying to catch smoke. The frustration is real, and it accumulates over time, affecting work, school, and personal life. The key is learning to manage it strategically. Breaking tasks into smaller steps, setting reminders, and even gamifying your daily routine can turn scattered energy into productivity. Combined with therapy and, when necessary, medication, ADHD can shift from a relentless challenge to a source of unique creativity and drive. And speaking of intense responses to life, trauma leaves marks that bring us to the next topic. Chapter 4: Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder, PTSD. PTSD isn't just remembering something bad. It's your mind and body being stuck in the moment of trauma, replaying it endlessly. Imagine feeling like you're constantly on the edge, and even a sound, smell, or phrase can trigger a wave of panic, as if the danger is happening all over again. It's exhausting, and for those experiencing it, there's no simple just get over it. Trauma can stem from extreme events like assault, accidents, or abuse, but it can also arise from ongoing stress like neglect in childhood. The impact isn't just mental, it disrupts sleep, relationships, and the ability to feel safe. Living with PTSD is like navigating a field full of invisible landmines. You never know what will set off a reaction. The silver lining? There are effective ways to retrain the stress response. Therapies like EMDR, cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and dialectical behavior therapy, DBT, can gradually reduce the intensity of these reactions. With patience and the right support, memories can shift back into the past, and the person can regain a sense of safety. And as we work through trauma, mood disorders show another layer of challenge. Chapter 5. Depression. Depression isn't just feeling sad. It's like the world loses its color. Things that once brought joy now feel distant and gray. Even surrounded by friends or accomplishments, a person can feel empty, weighed down by a constant silent burden. It doesn't respond to just cheer up. It has a pervasive shadow that affects thoughts, energy, and motivation. It can arise from loss, prolonged stress, chemical imbalances, or unknown causes. Women may experience sadness, guilt, or shame, while men often interpret symptoms as fatigue or irritability. Over time, depression isolates, weakens relationships, and erodes self-confidence. It's like being trapped in a room, staring through the window at a life that feels unreachable. Recovery requires more than willpower. It calls for professional help, patience, and practical strategies. CBT, support groups, medication, and simple habits like daily walks or revisiting hobbies can slowly restore light. As energy returns, some individuals may face rapid mood changes, leading us to explore the intense highs and lows of the next disorder. Chapter 6. Bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder is like riding an emotional roller coaster without a pause button. Some days, energy and confidence soar. Thoughts race, and you feel unstoppable. Suddenly, everything crashes into exhaustion and hopelessness. These swings aren't mere mood changes. They're intense, uncontrollable, and affect work, relationships, and daily functioning. There are different patterns, long cycles lasting weeks or months, or quick shifts that can be dizzying. During manic phases, people might spend impulsively, make risky decisions, or talk rapidly. Depressive phases bring extreme fatigue and lack of motivation. It's as if the brain shifts gears on its own. Treatment focuses on stabilizing mood through medications, therapy, and healthy routines like consistent sleep and meals. With support, bipolar disorder becomes manageable, allowing people to live productive, meaningful lives. And when it comes to breaking down reality itself, psychotic disorders demand our attention next. Chapter 7. Schizophrenia. Schizophrenia profoundly changes how someone experiences reality. Hallucinations, delusions, and distorted thinking can make the world feel unpredictable and threatening. It's not crazy in the colloquial sense. It's a real alteration in perception, like the line between reality and imagination is blurred. Speech, thought patterns, and social interactions can also be affected. Someone may seem confused in conversation, avoid social contact, or struggle to express themselves. These challenges aren't teen laziness or lack of interest. They are direct results of altered brain function. Without treatment, the difficulties often worsen. Treatment combines antipsychotic medication, therapy, and family support. With consistent care, many lead productive lives, maintaining routines, work, and relationships. And while schizophrenia impacts reality perception, eating behaviors can also reveal deep emotional struggles. Chapter 8. Eating disorders. Eating disorders are more than being unhappy with your body. They reflect a painful and obsessive relationship with food and self-image. Restriction, binging, and purging cycles arise from intense self-criticism and body dysmorphia. The mirror becomes a distorted lens, magnifying flaws that may not even exist. Beyond anorexia and bulimia, conditions like EDNOS and RFID affect many people. The struggle isn't about food itself. It's about control and coping with intense emotions. Meals become emotional battlegrounds, reflecting anxiety, shame, and self-loathing. Recovery is possible through therapy, residential treatment, and sometimes medication. The goal is to rebuild a healthier relationship with food and body image. And speaking of compulsive cycles, the next topic, OCD, deals with rituals that dominate life in a different way. Chapter 9, Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. OCD is far more than being meticulous or organized. It's a constant war with intrusive thoughts, obsessions that trigger extreme anxiety. Imagine trying to focus on anything while a relentless voice keeps repeating worries over and over. It's exhausting and interrupts daily life. Compulsions arise as temporary relief: hand washing, checking locks repeatedly, arranging items obsessively. But these actions don't solve the problem. They just give a fleeting sense of control. Behind the rituals is intense anxiety and rigid thinking that can isolate someone from others. Treatment involves therapy and sometimes medication. CBT, exposure techniques, and gradual behavioral interventions help manage obsessions without resorting to compulsive acts. With the right approach, OCD can become manageable, and life can feel freer. And when social connection itself is a challenge, we encounter the spectrum of autism. Chapter 10, Autism Spectrum Disorder, ASD. As it is about a different way of perceiving and interacting with the world, not just being quiet or odd. Social cues, communication, and interests are affected deeply. Imagine struggling to understand jokes or facial expressions that others find obvious. This is daily life for many on the spectrum. Repetitive behaviors or narrow interests often serve as anchors in an unpredictable world. A child or adult may spend hours focused on one topic or insist on strict routines to reduce anxiety. Sensory sensitivities to light, sound, or touch can further complicate life, requiring thoughtful accommodations. Support through therapy, ABA, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and medical care can help develop communication, social skills, and independence. With patience and consistency, bridges can be built between the individual and the world around them. And when reality itself becomes unstable, we face the intense challenges of psychotic disorders. Chapter 11, Schizophrenia and Psychotic Disorders. Psychotic disorders deeply disrupt perception of reality. Hallucinations, delusions, and distorted thoughts can make life unpredictable. Voices, visions, or paranoid beliefs seem completely real, even though others don't see them. It's like living in a constantly changing movie with no way to hit pause. Schizophrenia is the most common, but other psychotic conditions can arise from medical issues, substance use, or extreme stress. The uniting factor is the break from reality. Someone may appear normal outwardly, while facing a constant internal battle between truth and distorted perception. Treatment requires a combination of antipsychotic medication, therapy, and ongoing support. With consistent care, individuals can regain stability, maintain routines, work, and build meaningful relationships. Observing these conditions reminds us of both the fragility and resilience of the human mind. Conclusion: now that you know the main mental disorders and how they affect millions, it's time to reflect. How do you handle your own mind? Are there signs you're ignoring or people around you who might need support without you realizing it? Understanding these challenges is the first step toward changing your life and helping others. Start today. Observe, listen, learn, and take small actions that make a big difference. If you want to keep exploring the mind and find practical tools for your own challenges, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. The right knowledge is liberating, and your next step starts here.